Yo.
You want me to start?
Where were you at going into college?
Yeah, so when I went into college, I really wanted to be a poet. I was also rapping a bit, but it was in college that I started rapping more. And then it wasn't really until my third year that I ended up getting into making films. I took a documentary slash production class, and I just really took to it. I really liked how collaborative it was. I liked the fact that you could do it, not by yourself in your room, at your computer, just being depressed, writing poems. Um, And yeah, but I feel like when I went into college, I was very not practical when I went into college. Like I was really centered on like focusing and studying on what I wanted to do, which is something I have mixed feelings about now. I'm happy with where I'm at, but also sometimes I wish that I'd maybe like thought more about, okay, like you already know how to write or you already know how to do this thing. Because I studied English and creative writing, so like why don't you try to do something more practical a for a major maybe? But yeah, that's where I was at.
How did you get into film from there?
Yeah, so I took that production class, intro to digital video with Rob Smith, really dope dude, really took me under his wing. Um, and I feel like I really just well, I made that first documentary and that was really cool. And then I realized I could screenwrite and I could use my talent for storytelling to make like more fiction stuff. So then I was working on that, and for some of the classes we had to make films. Uh, but it wasn't really, I feel like, until I graduated from college that I really found my voice, because I found a way to merge my love for poetry with with my love for visual storytelling, right? Because those are two things that were really separate before, and I think it's important in filmmaking and in any form of artistry to embrace all parts of yourself. And we shouldn't allow the commercial landscape or the rules like the free act structure and all these other sort of uh, Western ideas around storytelling to prevent us from making the work we want to make.
How did you start growing in the film industry?
Yeah, I feel like for me it was all about community. Uh, I made this film Coconut about my grandmother who passed away in 2021, and through that I applied to this arrived at this film festival, Film Diary NYC, and then at Film Diary NYC they host a lot of their events at Millennium Film Workshop. So through that friendship, I eventually started doing programming at Millennium and at other spaces in the city. And then, like, when you go to festivals, you meet people. Like, I met one of my best friends, Zeno, when I went to Nifty, which is a festival for people under 25 in Seattle. Um, and yeah, I've met so many people just for our love of film. And I think that the film world can be quite cruel and evil and capitalist, but um, it's all about the community and the collaborators that you have. I'm also in several collectives. I'm in Meerkat Media, which is a worker-owned cooperative and collective of filmmakers. I'm also in Brooklyn Filmmakers Collective, which is a collective where we sort of like help support each other's work and critique each other's work. And yeah, and as I said, I'm in Millennium Film Workshop's programming committee. And right now I'm currently doing a workshop at Teatro Yerba Brua, which is a Long Island-based community center for brown and black people. And yeah, I think it's really all about community in one word.
What advice would you give beginner filmmakers?
Be attached. Fuck, that's not what I meant. Be yourself. That's what I was trying to say. Be yourself. Don't be attached to other people's expectations of the work that you make, as well as find something in the practice that you love, right? Whether you love editing, you love the cinematography of it, you love writing, but you just have to find something within the practice of making it that's going to continue to drive you and that you're passionate about. Because at the end of the day, that's why we're doing all this, right? We're doing it for self-expression, for, therapy, for all sorts of things, but we're doing it because we love it and because we care about it.
What drives you as a filmmaker?
Um, What drives me as a filmmaker? Mm, love. Yeah.
Where do you see this influence?
Yeah, so my film Coconut about my grandma is really, a lot of times I describe it as a love letter to Gladys Austin. I used to call her Two on Me because she was like a mother to me because she really helped raise me. I actually got a tat that says Two on Me on my arm too, in honor of her. And yeah, I feel like that film is just really me trying to process the grief that comes with like someone who's such a mundane part of your life no longer being here. And it was the first time that I had to grapple with like the everlasting, the eternal in that way, where I had to really be like, okay, like if my grandma's dead and I have all this love for her, like where does that love go? And is there a realm outside of this? Because I can't imagine that this is the end. I can't imagine that me seeing her in her hospital bed with blood tube, with bags of blood across the way because she was getting infusions, and she's not showing up in the way that she used to. You know what I mean? I imagine that that's not the end of our journey together. So it made me feel like there had to be something else, something more divine. That being said, and then there's also my film People I Love, which is literally me following around couples where one of the people is someone that I love, that I'm in community with. And then Pandrog, I think, is like really, it's a film about love and relationships, but it's also a film about like, it's a film about like gender expression. It's a film about like, loving yourself, I guess, self-love. That feels like corny to say because niggas overuse it. And L'Esprit, my latest film, which is about my father, is about love, right? Because I have a complicated relationship with my father because of his addiction. But it's all love there, I can critique and hold him accountable in certain ways, and I can talk about the painfulness of our relationship, but still recognize that I love him. So really, my work, I think, although it explores it in really different ways, my work is about the complexity of love.
What are you working on right now?
Working on myself, and I'm working on I have a James Baldwin lookalike competition script I'm working on. It's a rom-com. It's about two people who are competing in this fictional James Baldwin lookalike competition in Harlem, and they fall in love. So yeah, I'm focusing on that. I'm also working on a Buddhist video installation that sort of ties together some of the Black radical tradition with the idea of the four sights in Buddhism, which is when Siddhartha Gautama went out into the world and realized that sickness, death, poverty, and all these other ailments existed, which eventually led him on the path to become a bodhisattva. So I'm a practicing Buddhist, and obviously I'm Black, as you can see if you're looking at me. So those are two things I try to marry in my practice, Black liberation and Buddhism.
Nice. Where can people find you at?
My Instagram is Jarde, Jard, _ Lere. My website is Jarde, Jard, Lerebous.com. And that has all my work and has my email on it and my CV if you're trying to check out what I've done in the past. And yeah.
Final thoughts?
Final thoughts. I Show Speed is the new Tarkovsky. That's it. I'm turning 27 in a month. The age you were when I was born. I can finally see the choice clearly. Life or destruction. Do I bring life or exit this world in a fit of fire? Will I burn myself and others? I look down and see your scars. I think about how I'd mark my children. I went rummaging for your room again looking for answers.